Studio we have today.
You got your boy F. Dot.
Oh, always from Lithonia, L-Town.
You must say Atlanta and Lithonia at the same time.
All the way from Chicago, the Windy City, LB.
Hey, Lola.
Hey, Lola.
Yeah.
And DJ Silent, you want to speak today? What's your name?
DJ Semi-Silent.
Send me some. Sounding all.
Semi-fame. Good Lord. All right. So I was reading an article the other day on the Chronicle of Higher Education. As you guys may or may not know, I am a higher education administration major. So I like to do a lot of reading. Not really, but it happens. And one of the articles I ran across was Who's Afraid of Black Sexuality? And it was talking about how in academia, the topic of black sexuality was kind of just not addressed. So as I was reading through it, I was just like, wow, that sounds really cool. So we began the show by talking about our identity, because identity plays a big role in how you approach other aspects of life. So now we're going to get into the topic of sexuality, and I want to ask, what are your views on sexuality? Are you more conservative or liberal? How do you feel about gender roles in sexual relationships? And would you entertain the idea of polyamorous relationships?
No on the last one. I'm selfish. Only like one person.
Okay.
You been first too?
I said there's a lot of questions.
What are your views on sexuality? Are you more conservative or liberal? And how do you feel about traditional gender roles?
Depends on who's asking. I would say, man, I'm probably more conservative, but you had to ask my significant other, because, you know, I could be lying. I don't know.
Hey, behind closed doors
I'm
is
going
a
to
different
say
story.
60-40 conservative. Like, it's not a straight down the middle, or like 80% conservative. Because there's sometimes where you like, you like, man, this ain't, we gotta go somewhere else. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What was the
Same
second question
gears.
you got?
How do you feel about traditional gender roles, or gender roles, period, in a sexual relationship?
Well, I think they serve a purpose. I mean, I think even the independent woman wants a guy that takes control sometimes. And so, but it's not bad. Like, I don't feel like it should always be one type. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some things that, like, I might not be as experienced as, as someone else, as a significant other. So they might bring, okay, let me take the reins. Like, it's cool for some time. So it just depends on what it is, or, what y'all engaging in the communication and the relationship that y'all have. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, the man is probably gonna have to be the one that, takes control. So
I agree. And just to add my little 2 cents in, I definitely think it's a time and place for everything. So like if you're out in public, you and your young lady, especially if you know that she don't really like PDA or what have you, then you keep it kind of conservative. However, once y'all get back to more private setting, y'all can do what y'all do, and I think that's a good thing. Like, black love is beautiful, you know what I'm saying? So I think that like y'all being able to express y'all sexuality to one another in that private setting would take y'all relationship to a whole nother level, and I'm definitely down about that. So it's a time and place for everything, but I definitely like to turn up in private settings.
That disclaimer was really nice. Thank you for that. Thank you. Just so you know. Goes down.
So I guess as far as my preference, I'm definitely more to the conservative side. But like you said, time and place, right time and place, we get things right. But as far as like the male and female gender roles, I'm an old school person. So I definitely appreciate a woman that has those morals also. But, with time and age, you got to adapt. So when you work the working woman, you got to say, all right, I got to do a little bit more work in the house, along those lines. But as far as sex, though, if she down with it for the most part, I'm down with it. So,
Appreciate the
Kelly gasp at the end.
I want to know what the ladies have to think about this. subject.
So how about you, Lola?
Yeah.
It's the same
Don't
general
you
set of
know?
questions. It's
What? No, I'm reading like.
what are your views on sexuality? Are you more conservative or liberal? How do you feel about gender roles in your sexual relationships? And would you entertain the idea of polyamorous relations?
I would not with the last one, the polyamorous. Nah, I would like if that's a
Sister
little
wives.
selfish. Except for sister wives, just for that one situation we already have established stuff. And but I feel like I'm more liberal than conservative a lot of times. But I'm also not like the dominant one in the relationships necessarily. It is like the guy. I'm usually more of a guy being the dominant person in this relationship.
So you usually date guys.
So-
Not always, but usually.
I mean, I have
checking
a
on-
sister wife,
I was
so
just
I
checking
can't,
on.
say 100%
Okay. Amen.
But yeah. What about our semi-silent?
Semi-silent.
You got any views on this?
You got some views
Nah. Yeah.
on sexuality?
Okay. I wouldn't consider myself conservative. I think I'm very liberal.
That's my
I'm
sister.
open to, let me not say whatever, but, well, I didn't know I was too far away from the mic. Okay. Like I said, I'm really open to other people's views. My brain isn't 100% black or white, but every man wants his woman to be a woman, and every woman wants her man to be a man. So it comes that moment where, you know what I mean? Like he said, I don't know your name.
I'm LB.
LB.
From Chicago.
LB.
Chicago.
Like LB said, every woman does want her man to take control in certain situations that shan't be named. But
Mhm.
I have no problem. I have no problem switching gender roles. I really appreciate a man who go in the kitchen and clean up the house. So I don't mind being the working woman, but at the same time, we need to contribute equally to the house and how things function. Otherwise, it's no purpose in us being together in the first place.
I'm all about being a house husband. Hey,
I'm not mad
hey,
at
I
that.
have my own business, though.
I did want to address Jock on Ustream. He said that sexuality is the most common form of self-expression, and he's liberal on the topic because he feels we would be able to live freely without discrimination or something to that extent, because I can't read sideways. But
He also thinks that it's good to let the man, think he's in control, even if he's not. Apparently, be the dominant one. She lets him think
that man
That
got some
works.
wisdom.
that works. That's
On that
smart.
one.
Hey, I want you to stroke my ego too.
Yeah.
Stroke my ego.
But I'm saying, though, like, voila. Like, the dude in control ain't no need to make him think he in control. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm handling my business, I don't need you to lie to me and tell me, if I'm not handling my business, I don't need you to be like, yeah, you doing what you need to do. And I'm messing up. So I'm walking around, yeah, man, last night, and then,
I
We're
don't,
just
I
gonna
don't
hope
think
you can
that's-
handle your
That's
business.
a recipe for
Oh man,
destruction.
she just erased that.
Communication comes along with sexuality. Like great communication amongst you and your partner will definitely increase your sexuality or whoever y'all do whatever y'all do. But like communication, man. Like I love a girl who can communicate her feelings and let me know what's real. That way I can tell you what's real back. And if y'all trying to increase your sexuality, that's definitely a way of going about that.
I agree.
So
I
I'm
got a
trying to
question.
be. Okay.
Yeah.
Go
I got one quick question. Can you really describe what's conservative versus liberal?
I
In
mean,
your mind, what
Yeah.
for me, I would say that I am more conservative because my business is my business and everyone doesn't need to know about it. What goes on behind closed doors when I lock my apartment door, that's for me. I don't believe in excessive PDA. You don't have to tongue somebody down in the Chick-fil-A line on campus like everybody
I
needs
just
to see
want to let
that.
you know that I love you.
No.
The smell of the chicken seasoning just got me in the mood. Like, so that you know.
That's not love. That's foolishness, and you trying to show off. But you do what you do, and you do what makes you comfortable. But for me, I feel like that should be kept to the house. And also with the conservative and liberal, if you're willing to try a few more things, you may be a little bit more liberal. Like I know that I may try some things, Like that in the book, if it's 300 pages, we might hit like 50 of them, but I'm not gonna hit 298. I know that for a fact because I'm not ready.
I heard him say
You gotta have
he's a little bit on the wild side
little
when it
bit.
comes to it. So he just went a little liberal for us, y'all.
A little bit.
He's lying.
Yeah.
Man. He lying, man.
I mean, I'll
Don't
feel how
touch
you
that
feel.
face.
Hey, it depends on what page that is.
Exactly.
What page that is.
Exactly.
True. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. Nah, but whatever the case may be, we're gonna.
Sunshine B wanted to, go ahead and put in there about how someone is usually more dominant, but we don't necessarily like the whole you're a man, act like the man in the relationship. What is the definition really of the be the man or the woman?
I think we should discuss that.
Yeah, we'll have to get that when we come back from break.
We're gonna go in.
Because I want to go in on that.
We're gonna
Oh,
go in.
okay.
We will
Well, I was
hit
just
that one
making
after
sure we
we
get
go on break.
everything on.
So we're gonna hit a couple songs and then we'll come right back. Thank you for tuning in to Love Below on 91.9 The Buzz.